become real. And the more real it becomes, the more desperate they want it. Capitalism at its finest. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works. Bud Fox, I look at 100 deals a day. I choose one. Relax, pal.
First lesson in business, don't get emotional about stock. How's the judgment?
It's all about bucks, kid.
Money never sleeps, pal. Just made 800,000 Hong Kong gold.
Hang on, baby Jesus, this is gonna get bumpy.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio here on a beautiful Monday night, February the 13th, 2012. I'm your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have Haas.
Hey, what's going on tonight, Mike?
Oh, a lot, I think. I hope.
I tell you what, today was an exciting day in the market. A lot of stocks we got eyes on, and they were moving today. There's definitely some big money coming back into the penny market. So, exciting times.
Definitely looks that way. Also, joining me on the program tonight, I have Q.T. Cal.
Hey there, Mike. How are you?
I am good. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic, thank you.
That is good to hear. Also on the program with me tonight is Cop.
Hey, what's going on, Mike? How are you?
I am good, sir. How about yourself?
Oh, great. Got to listen to QT's voice. What's better than that?
The newest addition to the show. Also on the program tonight is Sif Kia.
Hello, STT, rest of the gang.
Welcome to the show, sir.
No mute tonight.
There we go. Learning as we go.
I told you I'd pull it off.
Good. It's good to be on point. All right. On tonight's show, we are happy to feature yet another CEO interview this week. Doing our interviews as usual is Mr. Kopp. Mr. Kopp, take it away, sir.
Thanks, Mike. We're here with Mr. Mark Richards, the Chief Information Officer of PVSP, stock ticker PVSP. Mr. Richards has a diverse history and background in the telecommunications industry and is focused on mobile voice and cloud-based computing for both voice and video communications. In this interview, I'd like to cover the background of who is PVSP, the history of the company and the technology, and what recent progress the company has made with respect of the technology and the recent news of the agreement to retire $13 million of debt from the company's balance sheet, and especially any news that you can share in respect to sales-related agreements or possibilities that the company is working on. Welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio, Mr. Richards.
Thank you for the invitation. It's great to be here. And please call me Mark.
Absolutely, Mark. Well, how about if we get started with describe to the audience what your company does?
Our company really delivers both traditional landline replacements, VoIP, as people have come to know it, digital phone, as it's also called. But we also offer mobile voice over the Internet. Again, mobile VoIP. A lot of people have not heard of that yet, but I mean, it's a huge industry. Together, we actually offer video telephone services, also over the Internet, using cloud-based technology, which these days is a buzzword, but we've been doing it for several years, and we've perfected working with servers in the cloud, because what we essentially have is a Google farm, if you will, which is arrays of Linux-based server clusters delivering packets of information anywhere in the cloud or the Internet, anywhere in the world, which today for us means voice and video.
In basic detail, describe what your background experience is and, a brief history of the company.
Well, one of the things that's interesting is that I've been in telecom for 20 years and really 30 years of information technology. And so really what that does is it gives me a great insight into technology. And it sounds a little bit arrogant, but I grew up in the era of Gates and Jobs, and so I've seen all the technology over 30 years. I've frankly remained at the top of my profession on the bleeding edge of technology. And what that does, it gives me an advantageous view of how this whole telecom and internet world becomes fused together, to deliver the future of cloud-based communications. So I basically run Vox Communications, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of PVSP. And that's basically the operating entity and the brand for our offering to the market of voice and video services. We offer it to both wholesale and retail customers. Although recent developments, we've handed off our retail side of the efforts to our newly acquired partner, G3 Connect. And I'll explain a bit more later on about how that relationship, how they fit in. But basically, that's what we do.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many shareholders dying to know all about G3. How about if we go to the board of directors? I mean, what's the makeup of your board of directors and your technical and marketing teams, and your reasoning behind that team?
Well, our board of directors, there are 5 directors, myself and Paul Riss, who really are the operating guys within the company. Paul Riss really looks after PVSP, and I run Vox, again, which is a wholly owned subsidiary. Paul Riss is our CEO, and our board has diverse skill sets. We also enjoy the wealth of experience that they bring to the board. For a small company, we have someone like Scott Whittam, for instance, who was one of the co-CEOs for Broadwing, and they were actually sold to Level 3 for $400 million a few years back. And so for the last 2 years, we've been forced during the financial meltdown to reduce our marketing and sales efforts, but our board is fully intact, and we have independent directors. So we're very cognizant of having an independent board. We do like transparency. The board of directors are very responsible and industry-known people. And if you look to our filings, we're actually a fully reporting company. So we're not just one of these pink sheet companies. We're a fully reported company. We don't just file a 10K small business. We file the full 10K. So we have to go into all the Sarbanes-Oxley controls. So our board is a fully fledged and fully professional board. We're not just people doing it in part-time. And obviously myself and Riss run the operating side of the company. So on the marketing side, we've had a tough couple of years because during the financial meltdown, we had to reduce the marketing and sales effort, and it was a real tough time for the company and our shareholders, I might add. But we survived that downturn by good cost control, and it was tough for everybody, especially our shareholders. But during this time, I still retained my technical team. So my guys, and I call them Navy SEALs, and sometimes they don't like that. And it's not in the true sense of the word Navy SEALs, but my guys are the best of the best, and I'm proud to head up such a technical team. We've been able to continue our development efforts regardless of the lack of sales and marketing activity, and we were still able to produce the incredible technology that the improvements that we were able to build on our vision to get us to the point where we are today. So now coming out of that almost a self-imposed stealth mode, if you like, we now have G3 Connect at the table as both an investor and a marketing arm. And quite frankly, we're technical people. We're happy to hand over sales and marketing to better people than us. So I'll explain to you in a little bit. But so G3 Connect at the table is both an investor and marketing for our company, and it's brought a new lease of life to us, really, as people have seen. They've seen the technology G3, and they're very confident that with the combined efforts of both companies, that we can do this thing.
Wow, that's impressive. Tell us about your strategic direction or your business objectives.
Well, really, our strategy is to build, cost-effective and technically superior devices and applications that can either directly or through our partners sell to the mass market. We saw smartphones come in, and we see where internet devices are going, and we also see the next generation of smart TVs, and that's going to be part of that.
Now, where did the technology originate from?
Well, Paul really saw Yeah, I mean, Paul Riss really saw the demise of traditional telecom about 10 years ago, and I wasn't involved with the company then, but he recruited me as an internet technology guy with a good understanding and a vision as to, how we could transition the business from traditional telecom to internet calling. So I was really given a green field situation where I knew that, I knew what I wanted to build. It wasn't your grandma's telecom company. It was a world where the internet is the network, and our services replaced the telecom switches with smart thinking learning machines that would run Linux in the cloud. So I saw that, years ago. As being an IT guy and a telecom guy, I saw the potential many years ago to do what the company is doing today. We want to deliver voice and video on a global basis. We're not restricted by just being here in the U.S. And the internet, and specifically, 4G, LTE services that will soon combine to be a true fixed mobile convergence, as they call it. And that's a mouthful, but it's really where your cell phone, the data connection on your cell phone meets the internet and allows me with my servers in the cloud to come and offer services to you. So we're really not far away from delivering upon that vision, which initially was formed in 2004. And in 2004, I had the greenfield play. I went out and I hired 2 Red Hat senior engineers, guys who were off the graph brilliant, and basically they helped run the Red Hat Linux network. And so these guys were extreme experts, to say the least. And we basically engineered together a piece of technology that, in our mind, is far superior to anything that the larger carriers and telcos have in terms of functionality and the flexibility we have in the platform today.
One of the things when we have companies on where you're discussing technology and all that, it's normally a difficult concept to understand, what actually that entails. So what I'd kind of like you to go into is, can you elaborate on, the significance of the market and the industry itself, and, specifics of, the targeted applications, the audience, for your services and products?
Well, I think the best way to describe it, really, the nature of our technology is it's cloud computing. Our target market, because it's cloud computing, it can run anywhere. I could spin up servers on Amazon if I wanted to. Right now, we run our own infrastructure, but we're looking at expanding that on not just a nationwide basis, a global basis. So if you think of a bunch of servers running anywhere in the cloud, anywhere in the world, where you can remotely turn up personalities on those servers, and now I can offer services from those servers to a smartphone or a video phone or a PC. It starts to boggle the mind as to what you can do with that. So we think our target market is probably a multi-trillion-dollar industry today. It's not just limited to our presence in the U.S. And, in particular, the mobile app that we have gives us a global audience. And, our shareholders are going to see some moves within a short period of time that this truly does give us a global audience. And we've already had some large opportunities come to the table, and they're not even in this country. And so it's all about delivering mobile voice and video to the cloud anywhere in the world, really. So, traditional telcos not wishing to lose market share, and the new age entrants which are trying to gain, market share, cloud-based voice and also video, and they're pretty complex to do. Video and voice is difficult to do in a scalable fashion, and we've been able to provide scalable, sustainable voice for years, and now we've moved to the video side of the world. We see partnerships like Skype, the Skype acquisition, and yet, even with Skype, Microsoft has partnered with Tango to provide video voicemail. But, that's a testament to how complex video voicemail is as a service, for instance, delivered in the cloud. But we built our own video voicemail as part of our video phone offering. So we're pretty excited that we basically have built these components that we can deliver in the cloud, because we see value where companies are seeing this in the market, where companies like 8x8, which is one of our competitors, and I don't mind giving them a plug, they just signed a deal with AT&T. So they're a company like Vox, or a company like PVSP, and they signed a deal with AT&T, because AT&T is a carrier. They're not a developer of VoIP. They're not a developer of applications. We are, and so is 8x8. And so you've got big incumbent telecom companies willing to partner with small, relatively, not significant companies, and it kind of puts them on a map. And 8x8 did a great job of doing that. And this is something else that we've done recently is that we have the ability to deliver video to some of these larger carriers.
Now, regarding your business plan, what stage would describe to the audience as a snapshot of your current operations?
Well, I think 2011 was a defining year for us, and even though that's not really known to the public, a lot of things happened in 2011, and as a technical guy, I'm the technical guy, not Risk would talk more about company structure and stuff, but as a technical guy, we spent almost the whole part of 2011 working on two primary goals. One was mastering Google's Android operating system, and we're all programmers. So we can program in maybe 20 different languages in my technical team between us, but none of us had Android. So we've come up to speed very, very quickly on Android, and we think we can make it do things that will curl your toes. People have no clue yet just how big Android's going to be, but we saw the writing on the wall. We wanted to build an app that we could move forward with our own code that would enable us to run any Android device, and I mean any Android device because, trust me, Android's going to be ordering your milk soon. We see that as phones, tablets, and TVs, and although Android is not there yet on the TV, we see this as inevitable in 2012, and as 2013 play out, that you'll start to see Android, massive numbers of devices sold. I mean, obviously now everybody knows there's 700,000 phones a day being sold that run Android, and apparently someone told me that was more than the number of babies in the world, which is incredible. There are statistics from Gartner and Instat saying that basically 1 billion smartphones hit the planet in 2015, which is hard to believe, those kind of numbers. But so that's our target market is basically cloud-based services over the internet on those devices. The second goal that we did in 2011 was to master the art of delivering video services. And so we look at it as a component level. So I can record video on the Ojo phone, which is the video phone that we put out. We can record video. We can actually stream video anywhere in the world over these devices. So another component that we have there. And obviously video voicemail is very important because you're going to see that coming into smartphones and video phones and even PC and social network type systems. And these are components that I can take to any of our product offerings. So basically, I see it as building atomic components that I can use in the cloud. Barry McShane from G3 sees it as I can build this product and I can sell this product. But so 2011, we can stream video to the phone. We're recording video. And these things are complex to develop. They took us a while. We think they're complex to develop and to deliver in a truly scalable and sustainable fashion. And we don't see there's not many of our competitors that can do this. So we saw the explosion of video-related services. We see it coming. We feel that one of the companies now pioneering what can be done with video because, for instance, keeping video and voice in sync, so my lips are moving at the same time as noise is coming out. It's something that the great Skype, I won't knock them, they're a great company, they're now owned by Microsoft, but they can't achieve it. I use Skype and I'm not happy with the quality. The quality of our video is second to none. We feel eventually that there's value in this because we feel that we'll attract many partners and we can empower these people to offer next generation of video and voice services in the cloud. And we think these are compelling services to our customers. One of the things that we're currently working on, and it's really kind of an R&D thing, is the ability to take disparate video clients and allow them to converse over the internet in a virtual room, if you will. So think about the Facebook type situation and some of the chat rooms. Well, now we can do that in video, and we know that we need to do this with high quality, and we know that we can't have an inferior video service like some of our competitors because it'll ruin our product and ruin our reputation. So we found a way to basically join, for instance, 10 or 20 people in a virtual room. So, we're able to stitch together those 20 people from disparate video streams and basically to present each viewer, each person sees the other 20 people in their video stream, and it's really one stream. We're putting back one stream. So instead of handling 20 video streams and trying to deal with all those bits and bytes flying around the world, around the internet, we're able to stitch them together and offer 20 people that appears to look like a single picture. And that sounds techy, but it's really paramount if you're going to deliver next-generation video services for things like social media. So if you imagine, Facebook today being able to do what Google is doing, and Google's raising the bar again by offering social media with video, and Facebook needs to get on that page, and so do a whole bunch of other people, including some very large companies. So video communication, I can't say it enough. Video communication is going to be huge in 2012 and 2013. We think we've stolen the lead on the market by getting heavily involved in video development in 2011. It hasn't shown up yet, but keep watching, right?
Absolutely. Now that you're venturing into your next phase of your business plan, what are your expectations in the short term?
Well, we think we're sufficiently up to speed now on Android, and our current app works great on Android phones and tablets, by the way, which we have. We've got a vision for what we want to do with tablets, but we intend enhancing that app to provide prepaid calling. So there's a lot of development going on that app, and the first tranche of that is we'll put out international calling with prepaid. So you'll be able to top up your phone with a $2, $3, whatever you want to top up, and make international calls. And, we're going to competitively line up or position ourselves, rather, against Skype and Vonage, and we're going to offer better prices than those guys. So not only do we think our quality is good, we use a very low bit rate codec on the phone. So phone to phone, we're pushing very little amounts of data over voice. And so we think we can actually push video over the same phone. We won't release that yet. We really want to come out to market with international calling and prepaid. And to be honest, even though I probably don't want to give my competitors a heads up here, we see the ability where you can scan a card in Best Buy and top up your smartphone with minutes. So it's kind of like a prepaid calling card model, but it's obviously targeted at literally tens of, and it's going to be hundreds of millions of users all over the world in any country where you can make international calling. So we think that's pretty powerful. We see video being the catalyst to the app going forward. And basically, if you can make a video call from your Android phone to, the Ojo phone or to your PC, then we think we're going to make the app go viral. We're also going to do some high marketing awareness with Yahoo and Google and those guys, Google AdWords and things. So we expect that where you look and you find video and video apps, you're going to find Vox and Pervasive. We're going to basically put out flexible international calling plans, free calls, so people can try the technology, and the calls will be to any one of 60 countries. So if I gave you free calls to 60 countries to try the app, and then you could top it up to $2 and make calls to Mexico for 9 cents instead of charging 40 cents like the telcos do, we think that's going to go viral. And in fact, we know it's going to go viral because we're going to make it go viral by doing the right kind of marketing campaign behind it.
Yeah, sounds very impressive. I'm ready to actually sign up. Yeah. Do you have any strategic alliances or partnerships? And if so, could you elaborate on the topic, specifically focusing on what they bring to your company and how it benefits each of you?
Yeah, well, we certainly do. I said earlier that we were basically in a self-imposed stealth mode for 2 years, and this was because our investors at that time ran into difficulty in the financial meltdown. And they were also forced to make some tough decisions, and it was a tough time for the company, We were not able to further fund the company, and this obviously caused the company great stress, and even with the good managers of cash that we were, we still had a hard time keeping the company going without executive salary cuts and other very painful actions that we were prepared to take, because we believe in our vision. We believed in our vision then, and even more so today we believe in our vision. It was kind of tough having the secure funding with $14 million of debt sitting on our balance sheet. So really nobody wanted to listen to the fact that we had invested that $14 million into some incredible technology that could deliver massive amounts of voice and video anywhere in the world. Nobody wanted to listen to that, because basically they look at your balance sheet, they see you in $40 million of debt and it's secured, and, there really wasn't anywhere for other investors to play. But here we are 2 years later, and as I say, we continued to build the technology irrespective of having no marketing and sales team. So here, if I could say, here we are 2 years later, and more and more people are coming to the table to help us and to offer our services, because the whole world's going mobile. And smartphones are heavily upon us, and it hasn't even begun yet. We're entering into an exploding market. And we feel that we've attracted some great partners to help us be successful in this brave new world. G3 Connect, which was a company formed by Barry McShane and Steve Cates, and basically it was formed specifically to partner with Vox and PVSP to target this market with the latest technology that we built. They've seen the technology, they've seen what it can do. Namely, that's mobile VoIP and video. And Steve Cates is an entrepreneur, and he also has a company called G3, by the way, which nobody's really heard of them because it's a private company. It's a $100 million company which services major brands in the U.S., and they do the displays for like Foot Locker, Adidas, and Pepsi, to name but a few. And they handle these display units, and they're very successful in doing that. And then Steve's partner in G3 Connect is Barry McShane. Barry and I are absolutely on a tear right now. We present to some pretty big companies, and we've got such a compelling product that it's almost enjoyable, right? So Barry's been doing telecom for 20 plus years, and he was the head of sales for Global Crossing. And you may not be telecom guys on the phone, but Global Crossing, was a multi-billion-dollar company, and Barry oversaw $1 billion of sales for them. So he's a damn good sales guy and has an incredible reach in the industry. So it's really been a bombardment for me to be able to keep up with him, because he really does know a lot of very, very good top contacts. And we do a pretty good job together presenting our products to the many, many contacts that Barry has built up over the years, and he's very trusted in our industry. So G3 Connect is a great partner. They helped us retire the debt recently, and also that's one of the things that's kind of set our shareholders alight. And it's also funding our operations, and as we position ourselves for the growth, and we feel that this growth is now inevitable, because we kind of got our bases covered. We've got the technology, we've had the technology, but now with our partners G3, we've got some pretty interesting marketing and sales going on.
Now beyond the service and technology itself, I mean, what are the longer term goals? Like, say, 1 year to 5 years from now, of your company, and how are you planning to get there from here? Specifically, commenting on the catalyst or the milestone events that you anticipate, say, over the next year.
Yeah, I mean, the year, I think, is easy. 5 years, it's, financial people try to pin me in to show me your projections for 5 years, and I can't even tell you whether I'll be alive in 5 years. So, 5 years, 3 years. In technology, 5 years is a long time, even for a technologist. So, but certainly, for the next year, for 2012, we think that's pretty simple. Financially, we are going to retire our debt. We want to give our shareholders the great confidence in our direction, and our debt, when it was at $14-15 million, that was clouding that confidence. And technically, well, we see that there's a great need for dissimilar voice and video services to be able to interconnect anywhere in the world. And I do mean anywhere in the world. It's a global business, and we'll prove that shortly. We're heading down that path with our support for the WorldGate phone, for instance, the video phone, and our Android app. But we see a world out there where the iPhone, the iPad, the Android phone, the tablet, and the TV, along with the existing PC connections and applications that are there, they'll all need to communicate real time over the internet and do so in a manner that is easily understood for a child or grandma. And that's very, very difficult to do. What seems to be simple sometimes to the end user is very complex under the covers. But you should be able to join one or many people on any device, whether it be you're clicking a URL to get into a room, or which is the case with tablets and PCs, or a telephone number, as it is the case with our cell phones and video phones. The company that builds this, we believe will be valuable. So we see a video ecosystem now, and this is a 2012 plan where all of these devices can join in a room or have a one-to-one communication or a one-to-many communication. And then we also see that, there are wholesale and retail opportunities out there. And, who knows, maybe we're a target for a player that wants to enter the live social media space. I have a vision for something on the technology side that would handle social media, live social media, where you can, instead of being in a room with 6 people chatting, you don't know who you're dealing with, now you're all on video. And I'm not saying that we'll do that as a company, but what I'm saying is the technology is capable of doing those kinds of things. So I'm going to basically, my technical team is going to carry on building that technology, and we'll see what happens there. So there's no specific path yet for that. But as I say, we're building the technical components, and we believe there's a lot of value for that. There's already people at the table asking us to do things that are complex to do, and we're going to take on some of these projects. I also.
What is your go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Now, what is your current share structure?
Well, our current share structure is actually. I wanted to go back when you said about partners. I wanted to explain where LightSquared fits in, if I may.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's many people watching LightSquared, in the market, and I don't know if you know anything about LightSquared, but our shareholders seem to because they email me. You may know that they're actually going to offer a 4G LTE network here in the U.S. in competition with the top 4 carriers. So we've signed an agreement with LightSquared that will allow Vox to offer 4G data services nationwide and basically at a competitive pricing to the top 4. So LightSquared is still expecting to offer this network of data services in 2012. And although we're watching a pending FCC decision on whether LightSquared will get the go-ahead, given the current GPS manufacturers built devices that they basically infringe on the LightSquared frequencies. But should Vox be allowed 4G data services via this ruling and agreement, then there are many devices and services that Vox is positioning to bring to market very shortly after the network availability. Again, I have a vision for, it's called an MVNO, which is a virtual network operator where, what do? We do voice and we do video over the internet, and then what happens if a 4G connection comes along? Well, that's really the bridge that we need to get to the subscriber. So, as I said earlier, if I can push video frames and I can stream live data and I can join people in rooms, and if I can do that over 4G to any device that runs a 4G connection anywhere in the U.S., then so that's where LightSquared fits into the vision, and that's why I'm pretty vocal in terms of supporting LightSquared. It's really the FCC needs to allow that to go ahead, and I'm sure the FCC will do what's in the interest of the people. But LightSquared, our shareholders should watch that relationship because it has a massive potential for some of the things that we know we can do offering cloud services. anything and everything. If you've got a 4G bridge to a customer and you have cloud-based services like we have, and it's video and voice and IVR and all these things in the cloud, then you're limited by your imagination. And I'm sorry, I kind of cut you off. You were asking about number of shares. I didn't mean to avoid that question.
No. It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, Rich is probably the right guy to give exact numbers, but I believe it's I know we have 250 million authorized shares, and I think there's only about 118 million out. And a lot of that is tightly held, as I'll say that to our shareholders, because we got some pretty loyal people that have been watching this, and people believe in this team, and as we share with them where we're going, there's more and more people believe in it. So it's about 118 million shares out there right now.
Can I go back to the LightSquared for a second? I mean, you talked about the 4G LTE bridge. I mean, that's not a small thing. You're talking, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people realize just how huge it could be. I mean, I'll give you an example. Metro PCS provides cell phone services today. People know them. They only provide them in a number of markets in the U.S. because they don't have cell towers. Well, if you look at LightSquared, it's going to be a nationwide, it's a multi-billion-dollar company, right? This is not a small company. So if they have, and they're actually partnering with Sprint to put their services on Sprint towers, so everywhere Sprint is, LightSquared will be. And so if you think about where I'm at, where I have voice and video on a cell phone, or on a cell phone that today lives on AT&T perhaps, or Verizon, well, if I got my own data services, if Vox has their own data service, then Vox Mobile is only a short jump of vision away from offering a similar service to Metro PCS. We can do SMS. We're doing SMS today in R&D. So if I can offer SMS and I can offer voice over a cell phone network, and now, LightSquared comes along and the cell phone network is essentially my own because I'm reselling their services, well, Vox can bill with the best of them. So now we really have a virtual operator like Virgin Mobile, for instance, used Sprint network for the longest time. So if I can bill and I can operate SMS, and by the way, I can deliver an SMS messages for a tenth of the cost of the big guys because it's over the internet. So if I can deliver all these services and I can deliver them on a 4G network provided by LightSquared, where would you go, right? So all of these things, we're mulling around, and all of these things are possible if you do what we do.
And just, I'm checking my notes here. You did say that you already have a signed agreement with LightSquared?
Yep, we already have a signed agreement. I can tell you that 2 minutes after they get allowed by the SEC, if they do, then I'll be on the phone to LightSquared explaining to them what our roadmap looks like,
Wow, that's impressive. Let's kind of shift to revenues. What are your potential or actual revenue streams?
Well, our revenues, we got to a couple of $1 million, $2.2 million in 2008, before we had to downsize. But we don't really think that those revenues are important. We don't feel that those revenues today represent the true value of our company or our business, or our ability to generate revenue. So don't be put off by that. That's a small company. We got a much bigger vision than that. I think we've produced around, and again, this really is a risk question, we've produced probably $300,000 a quarter for the last few quarters, but we really believe that we'll dwarf these revenues going forward now that G3 is on board. And to be honest with you, if that kind of money, if we couldn't do that in a single quarter, there's something going wrong. We have a much greater vision for that. So, we should see some really good growth in 2012. And it's more significant to point out, rather than existing revenue, it's more significant to point out that we are approaching 50% margins in our business. So we've engineered our business in a lean and mean state to get to a 50% margin. And so as the business grows, then, there's not big holes all over the place where revenue's falling on the floor and margins falling on the floor. We are a very, very tight, lean and mean company, and we've got our process, we say zero human, right? it's a term that Vox, zero human, because if you have a human in it, it's going to get screwed up. So operationally, we are very, very efficient and automated, and to the point where, if 1,000 people sign up for my MVNO services on Light Squared, they sign up in a day or in a minute. I don't care, because none of my team have to get involved. And so revenue can, if I get 1 million downloads on the app, and they all sign up for a $4 product, because that's the type of thing what we're putting out, then it really flows through. They get the telephone number, we capture your data, goes in the database, bills the customer. None of my team even get involved in that. So, potentially we have a massive revenue acquisition vehicle. And so really our existing revenues are not relevant to the current state of the business, given that G3 Connect exceptionally good at marketing, and we'll see some, like for instance the news today. ASG is the real deal in terms of selling video phones for us, and our challenge is not can we sell video phones, it's where do we get all these phones from. So we're already looking into some things to get the next generation of phone out there, and we know what we're doing, and this is an exciting vehicle for revenue acquisition.
That sounds impressive. Well, I understand what you're saying with the revenues and the potential growth that you're talking about. I mean, you're talking about some very huge things, coming down the pipe here. But what does your balance sheet look like now?
Well, even now, the balance sheet looks great, because we've just signed a deal to reduce that $13.9 million to 1.7. And to be honest, the 1.7 is a real manageable number. We'll clear that by the end of the year. I would like to think that we'll be looking at a cash flow positive, debt-free company by the end of the year. And obviously the world changes when you get to that situation. So the balance sheet, there'll be some debt that's not real on the balance sheet. There's stuff that we've had to keep on there for Sarbanes-Oxley. But it's people have gone out of business and we still owe them $50 or whatever, then it's not real, right? So in terms of there's very little real debt in the company outside of that 1.7, and we're going to take care of that. G3 is very heavily committed to A, keeping their shares, B, reducing that debt, and C, producing a revenue generating company. So we're pretty happy with the way this balance sheet has worked out, because retiring that debt is very significant to us.
Now, do you have a website?
Yes, so 2 websites. One is www.pervasive.com, and pervasive is really a play on words. It's the word pervasive, as in pervasive in the telecom industry. We changed it to SIP on the end for the IP. So www.pervasive.com. And then Vox Mobile, really, and Vox Communications, they can be found at www.voxcorp.net.
Is this the best resource for potential investors to learn more about your company?
Yep, we especially keep the news and releases quickly up to date on the Pervasive site for investors and shareholders, and we issue press releases to keep our shareholders informed. We'll also be reaching out in more ways now that we feel we have a compelling message for our shareholders that we are back.
Now, Mark, what do you think makes Pervasive a good investment for potential investors? I mean, more importantly, if you had a 5-minute elevator speech that would represent the excitement of the future of your company, what would it be?
I would tell our investors and our shareholders that we are all extremely excited about what we have going on here, and that our confidence level is exceptionally high. And we know we have a company with superior technology, and we've had a vision for some time, and it's been very frustrating. But we'll stick to that vision. And our partners now at G3 coming to the table, and there's also our largest shareholder, by the way. And as these new investors, they've brought a whole new world to us. And we expect to step up our technological game in this new world. These are exciting times. And as I say to the shareholders, people email me, and I keep saying, keep watching our progress, because you're going to be blown away at some of the things that we're working on, and some of the opportunities are on the table. They literally, they could work on a global scale. This model is not just working in the U.S. We have several opportunities on the table that proves that this technology can literally be global.
Now, normally, it's a stock radio program, and we talk a lot about shareholders and potential investors and those type of things. I kind of want to go off script here a little bit. I'm sensing something from you with the way you talk about certain things. I mean, this is like your life. I mean, in essence. I mean, you sound like you're like so enthralled in every little piece of this that it's amazing.
Well, I mean, I think I've said that to a few shareholders, actually, that have emailed me. This is not my job. This is my life, okay? This is something that, Mr. Riss and I have battled over the years to not each other, thankfully. We're both on the same page. But we've battled everybody else outside of the company. I believe in this like I believe in breathing. So, very few people can if you were on my video phone, I could say I can look you in the eye. But very few people believe in what they do, to the extent of all else. And I believe I was born for this. I really feel that my team is incredible. I am very fortunate to just be a talking head that heads up this incredible team. But we've done some things with video and voice. It's old hat, voice is easy. We do that in spades. But some of the things we're doing with video, they're just, I go to bed at night and I can't sleep because I really want to wake up and get up the next day and carry on working. And that would be easy to say, and a lot of people can say that and not mean it, but I really mean it. This is so exciting to me and my team. It is absolutely incredible for us to be able to now build shareholder value, because the company has not been good at doing that, and that's going to change,
Right. Well, Mark, we've covered a lot of information. Is there anything else you would like to address?
Well, all I can say is thank you very much for having me on the show, and it's been, hopefully I've shared enough with our shareholders and your listeners to be as excited as I am about the company. Barry McShane and Steve Cates from G3, them coming on board has set this company alight, and my whole team are very excited, and I really can't say any more. That keep watching, and you'll see that one of the things I've said to people is I really think that I work 6 months ahead. My vision in the technology side of it is 6 months ahead. So I'll leave with that comment and let people figure out what that means. But we're not working for today. We're working for the roadmap that we already have for 2012.
Well, Mr. Richards, we would like to thank you for taking the time out to speak to our audience. We would also like to send you an open invitation to join us on the radio show in the future. Where you're going with your company and your business plan and the objectives that you have sounds extremely, extremely exciting.
Yes, I thank you guys very much for having me on the show, and I'll come back anytime. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll mark you down for that. All right, Mr. Richards, have a good evening.
You too.
That was Mr. Mark Richards, the Chief Information Officer of Pervasive, stock ticker PVSP. Hey, the 4G.
Well, what I want to know from him is, when am I going to be able to be sitting at my couch and answer my phone over my TV?
That sound like
that's funny.
Oh, he's still here.
That's funny.
I know he's still here. That's why I asked
you
him real quick.
Because you will absolutely be able to do that. You keep an eye on Google Android, and as soon as Google Android is out, that Vox will work on that TV. So you'll be able to make video calls over that TV, and you'll see that in 2012. Mark my words.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, that was because I have 25 years in the telecom business also, so I'm very familiar with what you're talking about, and I just wanted to throw that in there at you, see what you thought. Thank you.
Yeah, well, so you see some of this stuff coming, huh?
We'll try.
Make no mistake there, sir. You can be rest assured that Mike wants he wants the toys. He wants to know what you got and how you can help him do what he does.
Absolutely. That was good stuff. I mean, it's great again to hear it straight from the voice. I mean, it doesn't get more powerful than that, and the excitement and enthusiasm behind it was fantastic. For those that are listening that missed any portion of tonight's interview, you'll be able to hear it in its entirety on Investors Hub under videos, then under market commentary, approximately 9:45 p.m. tonight. Chris, another job well done.
Oh, thank you. I mean, he's a pretty dynamic, smart guy. I mean, you can tell. You can tell. I mean, he knows where he's going and he knows what he's going to do. And quite frankly, I think what he did is just gave the shareholders a gift. You know what I mean? And I'm sure he's probably received hundreds and hundreds of phone calls, and you can tell if he wakes up every morning and this is what he does and this is his life, that means he's working on it. And it's like, okay, let me talk to the shareholders. At least that's the approach I got. What I got from what he was doing. Right. Reach the masses of people in one shot and give it in detail of exactly what they're doing. And I like the fact. I mean, here's the thing. You guys know I don't normally ask some of the deep questions, but he allowed me to when it came to the balance sheet and those type of things. Mm-hmm. They from 13.9 million down to 1.7. Did you guys catch that?
Yep.
Okay, did you also catch the sales his sales rep?
Yes.
You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. $1 billion in sales.
Yep.
You know what type of program management you got to be able to do to be able to be that guy?
Yeah. And just the technology that he has. He was talking about the 20-person conference call where each person can be seen. It's powerful stuff, and their concentration on the video end of it, as we all know, I'm sure a lot of people have tried Skype and other apps that are out there, and it does. You are delayed, no matter what you do. You are delayed. So them stepping up on that end of it makes it more appealing to the end user. So that's important to note that that's their goal is to get that video up to par as much as possible. So when you say it, you see the person's mouth moving at the same time.
Yeah, and that's a great thing, Mike. What you talk about in regards to the 20-person thing. He was also talking about the Facebook concept with the 20 people in like a virtual chat, which would be incredible. I mean, that would be really, really good stuff.
Oh yeah. The social networking has unlimited potential with what they're doing. And he said, this is the year 2012, so we've got a lot to look forward to here.
Yeah, I think this company, a lot of the shareholders, have kind of been a little bit frustrated over the course of the past few months. The company's been semi-quiet, and I think they've been working pretty hard in the background. They're making the strategic partnerships, and I think this thing's about to blow out of the water, to tell you the truth. I think they're about to release, bigger and bigger news as time goes on here, and I think they're finally coming out of their little shell to show us exactly how big they're going to be. I'm very interested to see, where this company's at in 3 years, because I think their technology and how far ahead of the rest of their market they are, it can literally be huge. So
you guys know I like looking for little small details when we do this, and I got to go back to Barry what was it, McChaney? I think it was his name, the one with over 20 years in telecom. And mm-hmm. I know I just said this with over $1 billion in sales. Mm-hmm. Think about this for a second, okay? Do you know what type of money somebody with that skill set can make working for another company? You're talking $200,000-$300,000, easy, and decides to go with Pervasive. That means they got it.
They've got something big.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
Nobody. I mean, because when you look at people, you do things. You work in life to earn money to live life the way you want. I mean, they got it. There's no doubt about it. They got it. and the 4G piece. Geez. I mean, this is going to be very exciting.
Oh yeah. And what's nice is and he touched on it, the expandability of the company is right there in front of them. And also, you know, he mentioned, I think the other company was called 8x8. Was that right?
I think so.
I think it was 8x8. I should really take better notes while we're doing this, but whatever. 8x8, and he said that they just signed with AT&T. Now, okay, you have AT&T, but you also have two other major players out there in Verizon, and I believe the third largest is now CenturyLink with their latest deals with Quest. So those companies are right there. I happen to know where Mr. Richards is, and I happen to know that the CenturyLink main building is right near him.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is.
You doing your homework?
Well, I just happen to know these things.
Oh.
You're smart.
I'm in the industry, so
I wouldn't go that far.
I should know something.
So in your industry experience, let me interview you for a second.
Go ahead.
What do you think you just listened to for 45 minutes? How big is that? I mean, seriously.
Like I said, I'm excited about the expandability possibilities. Like he said, I mean, I don't know if you picked up on all this, but he was talking about where they can offer their own cell phone packages down the line. Okay? You know, and become, you know, just a carrier through, let's say, a Verizon network or an AT&T or Sprint or wherever you go, okay? Whoever you can sign a deal with. You just take over, you share their towers, let's say, okay? Now, I guess to break it down, okay, everybody's familiar with how a cell phone works, correct?
Sure.
You all familiar with that? Okay, you have towers located all over the place. Well, those run off of special circuits, okay? Normally T1s or a DS3 or something like that will hit those towers and then take you through landlines to another tower to reach out to the other side of the cell phone range, okay? Now, with that, you use the voice over IP, which 90% of the people nowadays, I would say, are using in one form or another, whether it's Skype or NetMeeting or whatever they're doing. So when you tie this all in and then add video to it, it's just the next step. I mean, it makes sense. It's progress. That's next. Is add video to my cell phone. You know.
That's big. Yep, I'm with you.
So
QT, like he said. I was going to say all of that, but you know, had to give Mike his moment.
Yeah, Mike. I mean, seriously, that's good stuff. I always like getting more information in this area. I mean, when Mr. Richards got me at building a code to run any Android device. I mean, he got me there. That was pretty exciting stuff.
Well, if I remember correctly, Chris, and help me out with this one because this is a thought back a few interviews ago. Wasn't Android the hardest app to build?
I think it was the hardest app to build, but more on the easier to build in the sense of their red tape. Like iPhone makes you go through all kinds of stuff, the whole thing, but Android from a code standpoint is supposedly the hardest. Sure.
Okay. I thought that's what the deal was with that the Android was the toughest one. So I see a lot of potential here, expandability, progress, and I look forward to seeing what the company's going to do over this next 12 months, period. Anyway, anybody else got any more comments on tonight's CEO interview? I'm going to take that as a no.
Great
you
interview.
can't say no, I have nothing to expand.
If only it had an A in the ticker.
Yes. God.
No, there's gonna be some very excited shareholders out there. There's no doubt about it.
For sure.
I don't think they anticipated some of those key aspects. I mean, the news he put out today was pretty big. You guys know that. And he's got a couple key things to happen for that company, and you're not talking. It's kind of funny when he laughed at me about the revenue question. As if like I think what he really wanted to say is clearly you didn't hear anything I've said up till now. But he was nice about it, And, the potential revenue streams are just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, another point to make was that he was calling in from one of their video phones tonight. Just so everybody knows, that's where he was calling from, one of his video phones. Does anybody know how much the video phone costs? Anybody do that research?
No.
Bad question.
No, huh? No. Okay. All right, we can find that out for sure. All right. Anyway, coming up, we're going to take a short little break, and we'll be back with what was hot on the Buzz Cloud today at Investors Hub. And you'll be surprised that one of the tickers is tonight's CEO interview. We'll be back right after these words.
PennyChatterStocks.com, where our network becomes your game. There is no need for 6 or 7 sites to track your penny stock bugs. We've got chat, forums, blogs. You can integrate your Twitter, Facebook, Google+, MailChimp emailers all on one site so that your following comes with you. All it comes down to is the network, www.pennychatterstocks.com.
Sweetheart, now you're getting a little bit older. What do you want to do when you grow up?
Daddy, when I get older, I want to flip stocks.
You want to flip stocks? Well, how are you going to go about flipping stocks?
StockLegends.com, duh.
StockLegends.com? I heard that they have the best stock picks around.
Of course they do, Dad. Time is money. I gotta go.
Welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, we had Cop, Haas, Sifikia, and QT Cal. QT Cal.
Hello.
There we go. Everybody back on the show with me?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we have made an executive decision here at Stock Traders Talk Radio that after such an important exclusive super CEO interview, we shall not go over the top 10.
Nice. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say after that.
I'm going to leave you with one ticker tonight, and that ticker is PVSP.
There you go.
So, from all of us here at the STT Radio crew to all of you out there in STT Radio land, we're wishing you the best in all your trades, and may everything in your portfolio be green. We are back tomorrow night with a special 2-hour show. That's right, 2-hour show. You're not going to want to miss this one. Mikey and Big Bake are taking over the show. That's right, from 9 to 10 o'clock. Mikey and Big Bake, Cop, and I will roundtable on, what do we roundtable on, Cop?
Non-DTCC eligible and trade-for-trade issues.
Oh, my God. You don't want to miss that. You know, when you pay $700 to trade something? I'll tell you why. Tomorrow night.
I hate you, Benson.
Oh, yeah, and the other side, I bet you there'll be a lot of companies listening tomorrow night, just so you guys know.
Should be a big show tomorrow night.
I would agree.
So, tune in right here at STT Radio. Coming soon, our new website dedicated to the radio show. It's exciting. We're excited about it. Can't get done fast enough. I'll tell you that much.
Can we hear QT talk again?
QT, go.
Do you want me to do the ding, 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 ding? Because you're going to be hearing a lot of that tomorrow night, Cobb.
No.
I
know what you were getting ready to tell us a story before the show about Thanksgiving.
Oh, my gosh. Do we want the Thanksgiving story right now?
I mean, you right before the show, you were going to give it to us.
Is it family friendly?
No, it's not family friendly. So if you do have small children listening to the show, please get them away. Get them away from anything that they could hear off the show right now, because it's funny. It's funny. So do you really want me to do that right now?
I don't know what the story is. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
you have to tell us.
Kind of
okay, well, we were talking. I know we were talking about bizarre, family holidays, and so just to let you guys know how weird and crazy my family is, we were sitting at Thanksgiving dinner with my grandparents and my great aunt, who was 76 at the time. All of us 5 kids, my mom, my stepdad, and we're getting ready to say prayer over the Thanksgiving meal, and all of a sudden, and we're a big Catholic family, so, holidays are all about, getting together, all of that good stuff. So my aunt said, we said, okay, we're going to say the prayer now. And my aunt said, oh, like an ejaculation. And we all go, what? I mean, we're getting ready to carve the turkey. And she's like, like an ejaculation. And we're like, holy, some of us said other things at that time. And she said it like 15 times at the dinner table, and my brother was like, oh my God, stop, please. This is something we shouldn't be hearing from my 76-year-old aunt. And she was talking about, well, I don't know. I mean, obviously it wasn't something that we were all thinking, but we're like, oh my God, stop. And my grandma even got it. She's like, please stop. We'll just say a quick prayer and eat turkey. So that's kind of a preface of my dysfunctional family. And I'm sure there's going to be more stories to be told like that in the future.
Oh, geez.
Fun Thanksgivings at our house, let me tell you.
Amazing.
Okay, remind me not to go over her house, but thank you.
That's something you don't want to be hearing prior to eating turkey. That's all I have to say.
So what you got tonight is you got Mr. Mark Richards of Pervasive, and you got QT Cal and Thanksgiving.
Just think she could have video phoned that whole prelude there.
I know. Think about the technology. Gosh, if we only had that 4 years ago at Thanksgiving.
Oh, jeez.
Unreal. Okay. All right, that will do it here at STT Radio. Join us again tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is STT Radio. And we are out. Aloha.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.